Welcome to another live patching session. Giovanni here at Frap Tools with 3 more random techniques to use as a starting point to improvise a patch from scratch. And the result, what I will come up with by the end of this video, is what you just heard. So today's random picks are USTA clock out. I've got USTA already running. USTA clock out, the wave folder ratcheting, and the quadrature number 1. And I think we can start with the quadrature because it is the feature, FALISTRI feature, that I tend to overlook the most. So I'm always interested to try and find some application for that. Basically, we need to set the green generator to hold mode and activate the Q switch here. By doing so, we will create a chain of events where the yellow rising segment starts first, and then its end of rise trigs the green rising segment, which once it has ended will trigger the yellow falling stage, and then once it has ended it will trigger the green falling stage. This is better appreciated when used the yellow oscillator in the yellow generator in transient mode, but we can also set it to hold and have an arbitrary long end of rise segment. But it is better understood with a visual tool that can be our FUMANA, for example. And I will start by patching my BRENSO's final output to the main input and the all output to my CGM section, like this. Okay, so what I want to do now is use the envelope coming from out of the quadrature mode to do a sweep through my bands by patching it here to control the center position. So I am going to patch the max output, which outputs the sum of the 2 attenuverted envelopes here. Actually, I'm gonna start with this one here, with the yellow one only. Oh, got the wrong attenuverted settings, like this. You can hear that even if this is in transient mode, it is gonna stay high as long as the green end of rise knob is high. As long as the green segment is rising, sorry. And the same is true for the green generator. This is gonna, once it has ended, it will push this down as well. Now, if I patch this one here, so this is gonna start and then it will push this up, which is gonna stay high until this one has ended, and then it will fall. And then down. So you can clearly hear how the envelope is broke into separate sections. And down. And we can play with the shapes. So we can also appreciate the individual envelopes if we patch this one here and send, for instance, the two envelopes to two different parameters, like this one and this one, for example. So this is modulating the wavefolder source, and this other one is modulating the wavefolder level. Which is something that we can take advantage of. So in the original technique, I used the green end of fall, which is the latest stage, so it is the latest timing pulse generated by the whole quadrature process, to trigs appel, and then generate a random voltage that would have changed the pitch at every quadrature cycle, because I can even make it cycle and create a sort of looping ADSR envelope and so something like that. So my idea is to use in this patch here the end of fall to clock my USTA instead of my sapel, since I don't have it. And I can create a new patch, a new project, and assign every track to the external clock with a ratio of 1 to 1. I'm gonna start with a ratio of 1 to 1, and in this way I will have a very slow LFO. That's gonna move my playhead very slowly, and I can go back to my FUMANA patch, something like this, and bring the max output here. And I can then patch this one here. And I can play just with 4 stages, for example. Perhaps with even a lower pitch, which I can then transpose up. I'm gonna play a very simple sequence. Now we have 2 more techniques, which are the wavefolder ratcheting and the USTA clock output. Now, wavefolder ratcheting, well, both of them, I think that we can take care of them both at the same time, because both of them rely on using the gate outputs in the green color, in the repeat mode, which creates a ratcheting effect, so they will output as many equally spaced gates as the LED number within the stage duration. So I think that this is going to play very well with this patch, because we have a very slow clock, and by setting these gates here, we can output 1, 2, or 3 gates within that clock, because our clock is very slow, but it is steady, which is the most important thing. So with the wavefolder ratcheting, we can start with CV with gate B, for example. We just patch it to the ping input. And this is probably better appreciated with a lot of gates, so I can set this one with 6 stages, for example. 3, 4, 2, 3, and I can play with different. This can be 8, for example, and this can be 4 again. So we can have 4, 8, 4, 6. I can narrow down this CV, give it an offset, so that it will play more towards the high range, and give it some bottom end, some manual bottom end, like this. It's then we had the USTA clock output, which is a sort of workaround to have a clock output out of the USTA sequencer, but it is better appreciated with different length, with different stage length, so with a syncopated vibe. And I think I'm gonna slow this down, so set it to 3, 1, 2, and 2. So this is gonna be very slow. So perhaps I may want to double even my frequency. So this can be 8. This can be 16. What was that? This is gonna be 8. And this is gonna be 12. I think that I'm gonna set this one to 16 as well, because this stage is 3 time units, so I may need to set it to 12 actually. But let's hear how 16 against this rhythm is gonna sound. Of course, this is gonna sound like this. Makes sense. Let's try with 12. So now if I want all my stage to output a steady pulse, which is the opposite of what is going on right now, because if I set 4 gates here, they're gonna be spaced over 3 time units, and then they're gonna be shrinked into 1, and then spaced more than this but less than this into 2. So actually I need to pair the number of the stage number, the gate length number, and pair it with the gate number. But actually, you know what? I got another idea. I'm gonna use the same clock. I'm gonna return to my flat sequence with so I'm gonna set this one here. So I'm gonna use another track. I'm gonna play with its ratio and set it to 1 to 4, for example, or even 1 to 8, like this. So now I need to be very careful and rely on my steady clock, and then I can use it to control another melody. So I'm probably gonna speed up this process while I tune my second oscillator, which is gonna be this one, patch it here, and then I'm gonna create another line, another melodic line to demonstrate the USTA clock output. Okay, now I have my second sequence, which is playing this other very simple melody, just a plain sawtooth. perhaps we can add just a touch of reverb. But the point is that these stages have different stage length. So if I set a plain gate pattern like this one, and I use it, for example, to trig my slew limiter, so I'm gonna feed it through the slew limiter and use it as an envelope like this. You can hear that it is syncopated, it is following this rhythm. But if I enter in the gate, if I set my stages to green and set the same length value, so basically I need to set the first, the third, and the 8th stage to 2 gates. This is basically our clock output, so whenever the gate number in ratcheting mode matches the length number, you're gonna have a steady train of impulses. Now I think I'm gonna enter the track menu and set the gate A width to 10% for a snappier effect, like this, and then we can use this as an actual clock output to create other events. This is the simplest use. Unfortunately, I do not have a 333, but I can set another clock track, or actually I can simply use this. I can use CVB to control this and my clock output to do something like this. So I'm sending the straight gates of CVA. I can perhaps set them even longer. To control the tilt parameter, which is gonna play really well against the rhythm defined by the USTA envelope and the other the wave folder pinging. Or I can send it to control the wave folder amount or the source and create this kind of polyrhythm. I was wondering if I could route this one here and use this. Perhaps it's what about this one? Ah, nice. So this was my CVB. So I'm using the gate to control the amplitude, and then the linear slew limiter to create a sort of envelope that changes the parametric scanner width. So thinking perhaps I can saturate this channel a little bit. bass. And there we go. I like it. I think that we can cut it here for today. If you want to try the same approach towards the same techniques but getting a different result, please do so and use the Frap Ideas hashtag to let us know what you came up with. I hope you had fun and I will see you next time.